We're discussing the greatest common factor in this video. What is the greatest common factor? The definition of greatest common factor, or GCF, as we like to call it for short, it is the largest factor shared by two or more terms. So if we look at the numbers 12 and 28, a factor shared by both 12 and 28 is 4. Now you can take my word for it, but you might be wondering, that's great, Miss Carla, but how do you know for certain that is the answer? Well, there's actually two methods that we can use to find the answer. The first method is called using prime factorization. That is where we just list all the prime numbers that multiplied together make up the number. So let's look at our first example of 16 and 24. So if we look at 16 and we write down all of the prime numbers that multiplied together times each other to equal 16, we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And then for 24 equals 2 times 2 times 3 times 2, or 4 times 6. So if we look at these numbers, what are shared? We have 3 2's here, and we have 3 2's here. So that means that the GCF for 16 and 24 equals 2 times 2 times 2, which is equal to 8. Now let's look at the numbers 16, 24, and 36. So again, for 16, it's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And for 24, we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. And 36, we have 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. So slightly different than question A. Now we have 2 2's, not 3, that are actually in common. So therefore the GCF equals 2 times 2, which is equal to 4. So different greatest common factor for these two examples. You try using prime factorization for questions A and B. So for 48 and 60, and then for B using 6 squared and 6 cubed. Stop the video, try those two on your own using method 1, and then come back for the answers. Welcome back. So the answer for 48 and 60 is 2 times 2 times 3, which is equal to 12. And for B, it's 2 times 2 times 3 times 3, which is equal to 6 squared. 6 times 6, which is equal to 36. Let's look at method number 2. Method number 2 is where we list the factors. So that means that we are going to list all the factors that make up the numbers. So if we look at A using 5 and 15, all the factors that multiply together that equal 5. We have 1 times 5. Okay? For 15, we have 1 times 15. We also have 3 times 5. So what are the same? Well, we have 1 is the same, and we have 5 being the same. So that means the GCF for the numbers 5 and 15 equals 1 times 5, or 5. Let's look at example B, looking at the numbers 7, 14, and 28. So all the factors of 7, we have 1 times 7. For 14, it is 1 times 14, 2 times 7. And for 28, it equals 1 times 28, 2 times 14, 4 times 7. So which ones are the same? We have 1, we have 7, and that's it. So that means the GCF is equal to 1 times 7, which is equal to 7 in this example. Have your try at listing the factors for question A, 25 and 40, and then for question B, 8 to the 4th and 8 to the 7th. Stop the video, come back once you've done that, and I'll give you the answers. Welcome back. And the answer for the GCF for 25 and 40 equals 5. The GCF for 8 to the 4th and 8 to the 7th equals 8 to the 4th, which is 4,096.